So, me and Tomas Mijares are having one of our epic rematches, and as you guys can see, I opened up really bad for this particular game. Those tenders are going to be my undoing. So since he's playing Phantom Plants, the only real move that I can do right now is to go Yugioh to try to slow down Tomas as best as I can. Considering the only thing that he's going to do is just do a plant stoop, turn one, just set some back rows, and then set their monster to try to set up. My turn, I got Laval Cannoneer, which is going to help me out late game, and especially with that Sabersaurus being dead in my hand, the only thing I can really do with it is push to try to slow down my opponent. It's not exactly the worst move. I could have just set the Laval lady to try to combo up later on to slow roll those other tenders out of my hand, but the best move, in my opinion, was to do the Saber to try to attack my opponent. He drops Trag in anticipation for my Yugioh, which was a very good move on Tomas's part. He uses the Trag to suicide into the Yugioh, so he doesn't waste any more cards. Not exactly the worst move. He kept his resources to a minimum. That Thunder King is a big problem right now. So the only thing I really do is just have my Sabersaurus attack. He Book of Moons, and it forces me to relook at my hand. I don't want to waste anything, so I just simply end my turn. Once again, I could have done the Tender Laval thing, but it wasn't worth it. We have Rekindling online now. So I use my other rabbit, hoping that his other back row isn't anything good. So we go in and grab some Gene Warp Werewolves. I was going to check the graveyard to confirm something, but I already got my answer. So, great misclicks. Good old Gene Warp Werewolf gets over Thunder King. Especially, I like Gene Warp Werewolf over Alexander Dragon. They both have the same defense. I don't know why. Gene Warp Werewolf just looks good. So, what are we going to do? We go ahead and get Emerald over the chain because we already have all the tenders in our hand. And this is where Dueling Network is best for being Dueling Network. Let's put back two Sabersaurus from my last rabbit, and then I draw a Sabersaurus. I didn't know this was IRL all over again, so I forcibly just end my turn and discard the Level Lady of the Burning Lake in my hand to get rid of it. Unfortunately, Emerald is just going to get pounded into the ground by Trago. Sucks to be that guy, but there's nothing I can do. What do I top deck? I top deck Velo, which might be important late game, but I'm just going to feed through the tenders in my hand now. Tender does a whole bunch of dropping for me and feeds my hand for that Rekindling that is just sitting there looking all pretty. So that Tengu is a big problem right now. So what are we going to do? I don't have much of a choice, especially with the way my hand is looking right now. So we have to, unfortunately, slow roll my hand into a better position, so to say. So we top deck Super Heat Wave, the broke card. Tomas has no response. I don't blame him. Don't want to waste it. So we just feed into the graveyard for the cannon and the other tenders. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to remove the tender, and we're going to remove the Lava Lady to destroy one of his back row, which isn't a very bad move at all. And then at this point in time, I was going to play Rekindling, but the Cannoneer seemed like a better play because I can get a Black Rose play, and it's going to force the Solemn if he has it down there, and it just reloads my graveyard for Rekindling. So the Black Rose does not go off. Surprise. I saw that coming a mile away. So good old Warning really kind of slow rolled me, but the Rekindling is going to bring me back into the game with 1.5 billion pluses. So what are we going to do? We're going to stop by Hyper Librarian. Yay, Librarian and his unneeded pluses. So I was going to Synchro, and then I'm looking at my hand and I'm like, I'd rather just use good old Cannoneer to burn that last tender. So, and that last Guabi that are doing nothing. So minus 1,000, as you guys can see, that right there is enough to end the great Tomas Mijares into a burning ash of flames.